Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome. Thank you for those that are rolling in. How are we doing today? It's a Monday. Feels like a Monday. I got in a little bit of a get up going on. Small get up. Honestly, you find me in the fall, I'd probably be wearing this anyway. But if you haven't noticed from the thumbnail, today we are going to be trying Farming Simulator 22. I've never once farmed anything in my life. Never even grew a plant, I really don't think so. So it's going to be a whole new experience for me, a whole new learning curves, and we're going to try it out. I tried for a little while last night. My buddy Andrew, who you guys may have known from some of my other videos and TikToks that I've made, he's been getting into it. Now, I swore that I would never get this game, but here we are. I tried it a little bit last night. Driving, I will tell you, is very hard, and I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this game, but we're going to try to figure it out together. So yeah, even Luke over here is getting involved, got his gear on, and we are going to be trying to play Farming Simulator. But first, I want to do a little bit of kind of a reaction to football over the weekend and kind of do a tier list again of after week 2 where the NFL is kind of sitting at. Now, let's see if I can find one here. It's over here. All right. So we are going to make this up a little bit here. See my screen. Super Bowl specs. Oh, super prospects. Nice. Super Bowl specs. And then we will have making the playoffs. Second. What's this one? And then we will have in the hunt. What should we do this one? Should we do this one probably like too early to say? And then the last one we'll just make. Should quit now. Come on. Really? All right. So we got these. And you guys really can't even see it. Stand by. I'm trying to get my headphones charged, but this, I don't have a very good wire for this. All right, let's move you guys here quick. You guys down. You guys really can't see me here. What if we just zoom out? Tight, I think. I don't know. I think you guys should be able to see that. We will see, though. Back in before I have any other problem. And I have to let the Hebes know that I'm live. All right. Let's go down the line. So I want to also pull up another tab because I feel like there's might be a couple of teams that move right there. I feel like there might be a couple of teams that kind of just get flown past me here, and I don't exactly remember where they're sitting from this weekend. So, just so I can see the standings a bit. I'm not gonna really go too far into it. Getting situated here. Stand by, stand by. All right. So we're just going to kind of go down the list a little bit. The main reason why I wanted to bring up the standings on another screen over here is kind of starting right off with the Titans. They played tonight, and I want to say they lost last week. They did. And it was a close one too. Who did they play last week? One. They played. Wow, they lost to the Giants by 1 point. Okay. Well, I'm going to say that right now, so they got Derek Yeti. He always does better towards the end of the year. I feel like it's still pretty early, and they play the Buffalo Bills tonight. So basically, if you go down 0-2 at the beginning of your games, this stat has been flying around everywhere. I've been seeing this weekend is that if you basically start 0-2, your chances of making the playoffs are like 11.4% or something like that. So they drastically go way down. So I'm going to just say for right now, they got some good weapons. I think that Malik Willis will end up starting towards the end of the year. But I'm going to put and bench Ryan Tannehill. I'm going to put them in the hunt right now because they're not completely out of it. But, you know, it's going to be really hard for them to try to beat the Bills tonight. I think the Bills are just going nuts. But I'll just leave it at that for now. We got 32 teams to go through here. Miami Dolphins, what a comeback game for the Dolphins yesterday against the Ravens. Coming back down 21, I believe, going into the fourth quarter. They got some serious weapons. It was always up in the air if Tua was going to be a reliable quarterback, and I watched actually the Pat McAfee show today, and Matt Hasselbeck was doing a breakdown of Tua's performance of this last game, showing even in distress that he was making multiple reads, that he was looking a lot more polished, and making it actually seem like he was a starting quarterback and not just an average quarterback. So I think with Tua, if he can keep going in progressing throughout the year and then having those weapons of Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle, and then having Xavier Howard on the defense, and they have Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert also for running backs. I think this team is going to be really good. Do I think it's a Super Bowl prospect? Probably not. Just because I think, although Tua has experience of playing in a college national football championship, I don't think he's going to have the experience when it comes to playing in the playoffs. And also with the new coaching staff there, I can't remember where their head coach is from. I'm sure he has, a laundry list of accolades, but I say that he struggles in the playoffs, so I'm going to put the Dolphins on making the playoffs, but not Super Bowl prospects. I'm just going to unplug that. It's driving me nuts because I can hear it. So next we have the Jets. Not Sam Darnold. What's that other kid's name? The one that likes Cougars. Zach Wilson. He's been out. I want to believe it's a knee injury. Had to have surgery done, projected to come back maybe next week. But with Joe Flacco coming back and beating the Browns this week, they were down, I want to say 16 at one point with just about 2 minutes left, getting the onside kick. And then, well, they got the go route, scored, brought it within 6, and then had the onside kick, driving down and scored. They're doing, okay, but it's still the Jets. I mean, they don't have a lot of weapons when it comes to wide receivers, running backs. We got Joe Flacco. He's got to be in his 40s, I would think, by now for his age. No big names, I feel like, that are standing out to me on the defense. I want to say that there's like a rookie that has never been scored on or something like that since starting college. I want to say that the Heebies know who I'm talking about too, but I can't remember his name offhand. But I'm going to say, even though that they're 1-1, I'm going to say it's still the Jets. They don't have a longevity. I'm sure they have a difficult schedule coming up. So I'm going to say that they should quit now while they're on top. End the season at 500 because you know it's not going to finish that way. I mean, right now, showing after 2 weeks, they are -14 for points for versus points against. So they scored a total of 40 points this year, and then points against were 54. I want to say it's because they won that game yesterday by 1 point, but then must have gotten blown out the first week. Don't remember who they actually played, but it was a blowout nonetheless. So we're just gonna put them at should quit now. Now this is the main one that I was thinking about of how I was gonna rank this one going into this is the Bengals. You know, previous Super Bowl contenders. You got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, bunch of studs on the offense. But they seem to just not be winning. They just went 0-2, lost to the Cowboys yesterday. And honestly, through all the picks and all the all the turnovers that were happening yesterday, the Bengals were still in it, but they just gave it away. They looked horrible versus the Steelers week 1. And I think the biggest hiccup that the Bengals are facing right now is that they just can't keep Joe Burrow off the ground. I want to say this last game against the Cowboys got sacked 7 times. And then I know for sure, I want to say TJ Watt in the first week had 3 sacks just by himself. And then he had 3 picks and a fumble. So if they continue to apply pressure to Joe Burrow, they're going to struggle. So I'm gonna say it's too early to say right now. I don't say that they're out of it, but I think it could have been just one of those breakout years that they had last year. Everything was working with what they were doing, but I feel like since they're such a young team, they still have a lot of things that they can improve on. Get their freaking linemen to do better for them. I think that people are starting to figure them out a little bit, and that's why they've been struggling these first 2 weeks. So I'm going to put them at too early to say. I'm not ruling them out, but I'm not putting them in the hunt or making the playoffs because at this rate, they're not looking good. So the Browns, they got Jacoby Brissett because Deshaun Watson is on that 10-game suspension. 10 or 12. I want to say, or is it a full season now? I don't know. I think it ended up being 12. So we're gonna see a lot of Jacoby Brissett. And honestly, the Browns should have had that game locked up dead to rights against the Jets yesterday. There was a play it was 2 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game. They were up by 16. I want to say 16 or 15 maybe. And Kareem Hunt got the first down. It was like 3rd and 2, 3rd and 6 maybe. He got around the outside, bounced around the outside. All he had to do was make the first down and stay in bounds. He got the first down, but trickled his way out of bounds. So then the following play after that, it was 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. They had to burn one play just to get to the 2-minute warning and start running down the clock. Jets had no timeouts left at this point. Next play, Nick Chubb bounces it out to the left side, scores a touchdown. You'd think, okay, now it's over with. That's when the Jets came back and ran that go route and just let that guy walk right past the corner. I don't even know who it was that caught that ball, but horrible defense by the Browns. So I think the Browns are just giving it away. I feel like Baker should have won week 1 against the Browns, but they gave it away too. So I'm going to say that the Browns, I think they should quit now. Just because although they have studs in the backfield and Amari Cooper outside and have some decent defensive players, I think they're going to struggle for quite a while. Even though Jacoby Brissett did really well at the Colts, I think he's going to struggle for a while. So now we got Jacksonville. So I want to say to all the Jacksonville fans, you guys did great yesterday against the Colts, but it's just a fluke. The last 6 years, the Jaguars have beat the Colts since they're divisional rivals. They have beat the Colts the last 6 years when they play at Jacksonville. The problem is they didn't feed the ball hardly at all to Jonathan Taylor yesterday. Matt Ryan was getting thrown all over. I believe he had 2 picks, a fumble. It was brutal. So I'm going to say that game was completely a fluke, though, because I know Matt Ryan will eventually bounce back. Pittman was out. Their wide receivers weren't doing that great for them. They need to feed the ball more to Jonathan Taylor. Couldn't leave the whole game up to the Colts defense. And Trevor Lawrence was looking pretty good. He was making good throws. And then James Robinson got in the touchdown twice without fumbling it, surprisingly. So I'm going to say it's too early to say right now with Jacksonville, but I don't think they should quit yet. Although they are 1-1, they totally blew out the Colts yesterday. Now, the Lions are doing pretty good right now. I feel like I need like another one. I need another. Add a row above. This row, we're going to call it good, but not making the playoffs. No, we'll just keep that in the hunt. We'll delete this row. Because this is the problem I'm having right here, is the Lions are 1-1. They barely missed the game against the Eagles last week and had a great week this week against the Commanders. This is Washington football team. But although Carson Wentz was scoring a lot, Jared Goff was able to score time and time again right after that. So, unfortunately, they did lose the first week, but it was a shootout. You look at the points differential right now for the Detroit Lions. They have 71 points for and 63 or 65 points against. So they have a +6 differential, which is good. It means they're scoring more points than what they're losing. But at this point right now, I don't think they make the playoffs just because they're going to end up losing a lot of games. But man, do they got some weapons. They got Aiden Hutchinson, who's started to really pop off this last game. Not much from him. I think he had 1 tackle all week 1. But yesterday, I think he had 3 sacks alone. But Jared Goff, mid to average quarterback. But when you have the breakout now of Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Swift, Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinsock. Like, they got some pretty established people. It's just a matter of the longevity. Because their defense is giving up so many points, they have to keep scoring. So I think they will be successful, and I think they could possibly be a 500 team this year, but I don't think they make the playoffs. One, because the way that this division right now with the NFC North, it's usually always the Packers and the Vikings that are running the league or running the division. And unfortunately, right now the Vikings play tonight, so we'll see if they beat the Eagles or not. But if they lose, everybody in this division will be 1-1. Chicago Bears looked terrible last night, but the Packers looked terrible week 1. So it kind of thinks about like Vikings maybe winning the division and Packers are in the wild card, or it's either going to be the Packers win the division and the Vikings will be in the wild card. Either way, I believe both of those teams will probably be involved. So it's not going to leave any room for the Detroit Lions to win, because if the Packers and the Vikings keep winning, you know, there's going to be 8 games of the divisional matchups that they just won't win. So we will see, but I'm going to say they're in the hunt, but I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they go like 8 and 9, 9 and 8, something like that. Oh. Group chat is just going nuts. Anyway. Jake and Sam say it is not working for them. Do 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 do. Is it working now? See, I have a viewer. Jake, Sam, is it working now? I didn't do anything, so I don't know if it worked or not. It's okay. Cool. I just want to make sure. I saw that it had like I had a viewer for like 2 seconds, so I was guessing that that was you guys. But yeah, we'll keep going here. So to recap, Dolphins look strong with their offensive weapons. They need to do better on defense if they're going to make the longevity and maybe have a push in the playoffs, which I believe that they could do. Titans, too early to say, I want to say, but I do believe they're going to be just outside of the playoffs right now, just because Derek Yeti, as he goes along, he's going to be getting better. Honestly, they might end up benching Ryan Tannehill by the end of the year, and Malik Willis comes in and starts as quarterback. So they have some studs there, and I could foresee that the Titans are in the hunt. Same with the Lions. They're in the hunt, but I don't think they make the playoffs just because they've been scoring a ton, but the defense has not been doing that great just because they've been in shootouts every week. You know, they were super close to winning to the Eagles, but then lost, unfortunately, and then they just beat the Commanders last week. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I believe they will be like an 8-9 or a 9-8 team. They could go about 500. Joey Burrow and the Bengals, I think it's too early to say. It was throwing all over the graph all weekend that if you're a team that starts 0-2, you have an 11.4% chance of making the playoffs. They could go and make a run here, but I feel like they are starting to get their team figured out. There's a lot of young guys on that team, minus like Joe Mixon. I feel like he's like 26, 27, but Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, they're all younger guys, and I think they're starting to get their stuff figured out. So we'll wait and kind of see how that plays out. Jags, honestly, I don't know if this last week was just a fluke because they did go and beat the Colts 28-0. But if you look at the statistics for since they're indivisible, they're in the same division. They meet every year at Jacksonville, and for the last 6 years, the Jacksonville Jaguars have beat the Colts. So if I had money on it, I would say that Jacksonville was gonna win. But I didn't because I'm not no gambler like that. But yeah, we'll keep going. Jets, I think they should quit now. They got like it was a fluke that they beat the Browns last night or yesterday. And the Browns look like shit too. Without Deshaun Watson going to be out for another 10 games or whatever, 8 games at this point. It's going to be too late for them to try to come back. Jacoby Brissett he's going to struggle. I think they have really good running backs. They got Amari Cooper, but I think they're going to struggle. And then Joe Flacco trying to win and lead a Jets team that has like pretty much no names all over the field. It's going to be hard. The Browns should have easily won that game yesterday, but they threw it away. So I want to keep going. So I believe that the Vikings will make the playoffs. And like I was kind of going before, I'll wait. I'm going to say that the Vikings will make the playoffs. They're either going to win the NFC North or they're going to be in the wild card against the NFC North, basically. That the Packers are going to be in and the Vikings will be in the hunt, or the Vikings will win and the Packers will be in the hunt, really. It all really depends on who ends up winning the division. I think both teams will be strong. Obviously, the Packers have their problems with the receiving core, and they're having to lean heavily on just the running backs, but they have a solid defense. But with the Vikings, if nobody can figure out how to stop Justin Jefferson, it could be a walk in the park for them with Dalvin Cook and their pretty solid defense they have this year. Not their elite defense that they might have had like 5 years ago, but their defense is looking a lot better than what it was last year. Because honestly, the Packers look like dog in the first week. I didn't even want to watch the game. So I will say we'll see how they do against the Eagles tonight, but I'm going to say that they make the playoffs. I wouldn't say that they're a Super Bowl team, though, because Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, they don't match up. So we got the Buccaneers. I'm going to have to just put them up here. I hate doing it, but it's the way of the road when you got Tom Brady for a quarterback. I hate Tom Brady. Always hated Tom Brady. But unfortunately, the guy knows how to win Super Bowls. He knows how to win playoff games. And even in garbage time where the game was 3-3 against the Saints for over 3/4 of that game, they still end up beating them a lot to a little. I don't even know what the final score. I feel like it was like 21-3 or something like that. But they have weapons. Mike Evans, I think he's out for a game, so we'll see how things go. Scotty Mills is a great slot wide receiver for him. It's basically like another Julian Edelman, but not as good, Sam, as Julian Edelman. But he sure knows how to find some slot receivers. Chris Godwin was hurt, so he'll be coming back. That'll help. Julio Jones is there, and then their solid defense. So I think they'll be fine. They'll walk into the playoffs pretty easy, and we'll see how that goes. Because honestly, I don't foresee the Falcons, Panthers, or Saints really being contenders of playing against the Buccaneers for basically winning their division. So I think they easily walk into the playoffs, and then we'll determine if everybody can stay healthy, whether they can make another push. So the 49ers, I'm going to say they easily make the playoffs now. Now that Trey Lance has been ruled out for the whole season, I believe that with Jimmy Garoppolo, they could honestly make it all the way to the NFC Championship game again. To be fair, the 49ers wanted to try and figure out if Trey Lance is the future. I don't think Trey Lance is the future. I think everybody was so hot and bothered on Trey Lance going into this season, thinking he was an MVP candidate, but we saw last year he was missing 5-yard slants. So honestly, I feel like this could probably be a blessing for the 49ers that Trey Lance now broke his ankle out for the year, having to get surgery. Now Jimmy Garoppolo is going right back into it. They have almost all of their same weapons still there. Debo's still there. George Kittle's still there. Elijah Mitchell is going to be out for a couple weeks, but he'll be coming back eventually. Elijah Mitchell has always been injury prone, so I believe that even without him, they can still be successful. They have been in the past. They were able to beat us without even scoring a touchdown with their offense last year. So I think they'll be fine, especially with Jimmy G. Do I know if they can make it to the playoffs? I don't know. It might be one of those cases where Jimmy G's kind of pissed that he got benched, but he got $16 million to play a backup quarterback, so I wouldn't be pissed. So I think they make it to the playoffs easy, but we'll keep going. Falcons fucking suck, dude. Yeah, they got Kyle Pitts, but Marcus Mariota ain't gonna lead them to nowhere. So I'm just gonna put that they should quit now. I don't know for a fact whether or not they got some other studs out there. They got Cordell Patterson, he's solid. But I cannot foresee Marcus Mariota bringing them to any kind of playoff game. Started 0-2 in the season, so I'm going to just say a no for me, dog, and we'll leave it at that. So we got the Ravens. They went and lost the shootout yesterday to the Dolphins. I think that if their defense doesn't step up, they're simply going to lose in the playoffs. I think they make the playoffs. We got so many weapons. Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, so many good guys on that team. I think they can make the playoffs. Don't think I can foresee them with that defense winning and getting to the Super Bowl. So we'll kind of see how that one plays out. Looking at some of these options, he might end up getting switched up to a Super Bowl prospect. But, I mean, Lamar Jackson put up over 100 yards rushing, and it was like 200 yards passing, maybe 100 and some change passing. Scored 73 points in our fantasy league. The guy's a dog. So we're going to leave him at the playoffs. Might end up going up into Super Bowl prospects, but we'll leave it at that. Bears should quit now. They absolutely suck. Justin Fields looked like actual shit last night. Looked like he was on the phone waiting to call his mother to pick him up from school because he did not look like he belonged in that game. Yeah, I think he was, I want to say he was like 7 for 11 with 70 yards, no touchdown and a pick. Like, you can't win a game with those kind of numbers. So they should quit, even though they beat the 49ers week 1 in a washed game that was literally the water bowl. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And they should quit. I think the Cowboys make the playoffs. I think it's a similar situation like it is with the Packers and the Vikings. It'll go back and forth between the Eagles and the Cowboys. All depends on what Cooper Rush can do while Dak is out. We have some weapons on offense. It will really depend on how Cooper Rush does while Dak's gone. So, because like I said, it could, like the Eagles, they play tonight, but they're 1-1 or 1-0. We'll see how it goes. It's really just going to be back and forth whether or not they make it or the Cowboys make it. So I'm going to say they make the playoffs. But with that, Mike McCarthy as your head coach and seeing some of those play calls that they were doing week 1, I think they're trying to become Andy Reid without having the talent of Andy Reid as a play caller. So if they can just dumb their playbook down, that's what was successful yesterday with Cooper Rush. I think they'll do a lot better with the Colts. They stink. So I'm going to... there's nobody really to even talk about over there. They suck. I'm going to move on from them. So I think it's too early to say also with the Colts. They have so many good players there. Yeah? No. Um, I think the Colts are similar to the way the Bengals are. That it's going to be kind of early to, or too early to judge. Colts are 0-1-1, but they have so many studs around the field. They have Pittman, who was hurt, so couldn't help in that. They barely fed the ball to Jonathan Taylor yesterday. So I think with that, like, how many, they had a ton of defensive players that were stupid good, but none of them made the Pro Bowl last year. Same with the Bills. I don't think the Micah Hyde even made the Pro Bowl last year. But anyways, if they feed Jonathan Taylor the ball, they'll be more successful and they could actually win some games, not putting the games on Matt Ryan's back. So we'll keep it at that. The Rams, I want to say they lost last week to the Bills badly, but then they won. Who did they play against though? I don't remember. I'm not sure. Rams, yeah, I could foresee them being another Super Bowl prospect. Who'd they get? They got Von Miller. So I think they could definitely be Super Bowl prospects again. Matt Stafford's always solid. When he has his good, reliable Cooper Kupp to throw to, and Tyler Higbee. So I think that'll be fine. I'm just gonna read the chat later. That is way too long. What did Andrew want? Oh, this shit's working. I think we're gonna try to play with Andrew later on some farming sim. As long as his mods aren't gonna be stupid. Yesterday he was having a hard time with all of his stuff just freezing up on him. So he went and got some more RAM discs to throw into. So he said his memory is working good now. So that's good. Let's keep moving. Rams are going to be solid. They could definitely make a push to the playoffs and into the Super Bowl. Chargers, I think, is also a Super Bowl prospect. Justin Herbert's always looking good. What did he say? I think he'll be just fine. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen will be coming back. Austin and awesome. They'll be just fine. Definitely can make the play, or definitely will make the playoffs. Definitely is a Super Bowl prospect. Raiders is kind of gonna be one of those in the hunts for me. If Derek Carr doesn't realize that he needs to throw the ball to Devontae Adams more, like he did in Week 1, then he will not win games. And if you keep giving the ball to Hunter Renfrow, he's going to fumble because he is He's known for his fumbling. Same with James Robinson. Same with the guy from the Commanders. What's his name too? I don't remember. Because he got benched. But I think that they could definitely be good if they utilize Waller and Devontae Adams more. Devontae Adams had 2 catches for 12 yards yesterday and a touchdown. Got a touchdown early in the game, and then they just never went back to him. Commanders with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz looks like he could break an ankle at any given play. They are 1-1. I don't say they're out of it, but I think it's too soon for me to judge whether they're out of it or not. I don't think they make the playoffs, regardless. But yeah, Chiefs, that's pretty easy. Super Bowl contenders. Although they don't have Tyreek Hill, they still have Juju, MVS, Travis Kelce, not ETN, Clyde. They're gonna be just fine with Patrick Mahomes. Saints, I don't know. I don't know. They need Kamara. They need to work with Kamara more, but it's gonna be hard. It's hard for me to tell. because they decided to sign that deal with Taysom Hill not being the quarterback. I don't know how they saw Jameis Winston being a better quarterback than Taysom Hill, but you see those deeper, longer passes from Jameis Winston, but you get that more consistency and the utilization that is similar to like Debo, that he can play both positions of wide receiver and running back. Taysom Hill can literally play as the GM or the head coach of this team. He could do anything that's out there: punt returner, kick returner, gunner, quarterback, lineman, water boy. He could do anything. So it's hard to say, but I think Saints will probably be in the hunt, but probably not make the playoffs. Giants suck. We're just going to pass by them. Daniel Jones, they're not utilizing Saquon as much as they need to. Although the Giants are 2-0, I don't think they finished the season well. I think that it'll be a rough season for them once they start getting harder opponents. Yes, they went and won the last 2 games. They're 2-0. They're one of, let's see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that are 2-0, and Giants are one of them. That doesn't include the Bills or the Vikings because they haven't played yet tonight, but I think karma's going to run up to them eventually. Eagles, I'm going to put them in the same area as the Cowboys just because of what I was saying earlier. It's either going to be the Cowboys or the Eagles that make it as the division winners. The other one's going to be in the wild card weekend. So I think that those 2 teams will go hand in hand. We have to wait and see how it goes at the end of the season. Jalen Hurts, he's really coming into form now, starting to do less turnovers. They got nice weapons, and they'll be just fine. Steelers, I'm going to say, I don't remember how long TJ was out for. Their defense is so good. Fitzpatrick is a stud, but without TJ, it's hard to get to the football and sack quarterbacks. And with Trubisky, I just don't. If they switch to Kenny Pickett and Kenny Pickett ends up being successful and a little bit better with a higher ceiling, like they were saying they were saying that Pickett has a higher ceiling, but more room for development than Mitch Trubisky would have. I would be surprised if the Steelers lose this next week and they don't switch to Kenny Pickett. Steelers are 1-1 after the first 2 weeks, but I think they could be right around that 8-7 game win. But I don't think they make it in the playoffs. But they might chase after it in case, Deontay Johnson goes off huge and Najee starts to come to form more and they use him more. And Kenny Pickett is leading them there. So the Broncos, unfortunately, they look horrible, but I think it's going to come eventually. It's Russell Wilson. It's a new environment. It's growing pains. I think Judy, is he hurt now? I don't know if he's out for a while, but I know he left the game early. I think eventually they just got to settle in and figure out what will work. The games yesterday were pretty ugly for the Broncos game to watch, and they lost to the Seahawks week 1, but I think that one was just like a huge revenge game for Geno and Pete Carroll. So I think that's kind of just like the fluke. So I'm not going to put too much weight on that one, but honestly, yesterday against the Texans, it did not look pretty, but they did end up winning. So I'll say they make the playoffs. It'll be tough though, just because with the Chargers and the Chiefs in the same division, they have to beat out one of these Super Bowl prospect teams, but it will be close. It will definitely be close. I don't even know. Can they take 3 teams from a division to make the playoffs? I think it really, after you make the division winners, it's whoever has the best record. But I feel like they're just going to run out of games because they have to play each of those teams twice in a year. So, be interesting to see. I don't know if you guys are talking to me. I'm not checking my phone that much to see if you're saying that I am making horrible calls, but your silence right now is reassuring that I'm not completely stupid, but you guys might be just pissing at the TV saying how stupid I am and that worst call ever. If my least favorite streamer, why am I watching this guy? Four-eyed looking asshole, who knows? So I'll take your word that silence is okay so far. We got Jake typing, so we'll see what he says. Not yet. This one's gonna be hard. What about the Packers? Packers are making the playoffs, but at this point, they're not Super Bowl prospects in my eyes. Packers, if they cannot figure out who is going to be that number one wide receiver, and if they're going to claim that it's either Sammy Watkins or if it's Alan Lazard, we might be in trouble. So we will wait and see how things develop. I do not foresee them, even with this super good defense, I can't foresee them making it all the way to the Super Bowl if they don't have somebody better to help them on the wide receivers. You know, OBJ is still available, but there's no way that the Packers pick him up. So, what do we got, Jake? What are you GGing me for? Meaning like that's a good choice, good, or that you're done watching me now because you don't think the Packers make the playoffs? I mean, oh, okay. Okay. They win games, but it will, I think, luckily with Trayvon Diggs last year, they got a lot of turnovers, but it's what you can do with the turnovers is what's going to win football games. Our special teams has not gotten any better last year than it is to this year. We still suck on special teams horribly. So I think if like the Cowboys, they got that new guy from the AFL or the whatever it was. I don't even remember what that league is called. He ran back a punt return and a kick return in like the same game in a preseason game. If he can come to light for their special teams, good for them. But I think they're going to have that head up on the Packers when it comes to special teams because we suck. Amari Rodgers should not be catching that ball. He's bound to fumble in a big moment and lose us a football game when we need just a fair catch out of him. So it's just a ticking time bomb when it comes to Amari Rodgers kicking that or catching those. But it will really depend on what our breakout rookie wide receivers, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson. If one of those can step up and be somewhat decent, we might have a chance. It might be like that 2011 or whatever Super Bowl with the Packers having like a top 5 defense and winning a Super Bowl as the 5 seed against the Steelers. You never know, but on that team, we had stud wide receivers, and we had James Starks as our running back. So you never know. I think if we can utilize our run game, we'll be okay. But we can't bank on a run game to get to a Super Bowl. We don't have a big name running back like Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor. We have Aaron Jones, who's solid, but I don't even foresee him a top 5 running back right now. So that's just in my eyes. Carolina Panthers, I think they're in the hunt. I don't think they make the playoffs. Baker, I think he'll do good things. Christian McCaffrey, he's looking okay, but he's not his former self. I think we're bound to see an injury out of him. Maybe it's a week injury. Maybe it's a season-ending injury. I think it's just a part of the odds that he might. Sorry, Jake, you're going to be mad because you have him on your fantasy team, but I think we are going to see an injury out of him. And I think Baker is a good quarterback. I like Baker, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Cardinals, I think I'll say that the Cardinals have a Super Bowl prospect out of them. That depends on 2 things. One, so this last week, they were able to come back and win. Um, was it overtime or before the end of the game against the Raiders again with that scoop score fumble against Hunter Renfrow? It was the overtime. Um, it will all depend on how Kyler Murray does when the new Modern Warfare 2 comes out. If he's too focused on trying to play that game, or depending on if he had a PlayStation or an Xbox, if he was playing the beta and thinking about the beta this weekend, then we have nothing to worry about because he just went and won it in overtime and looked awesome. But I think it'll also depend on how their offense can do until DeAndre Hopkins comes back in the next 4 weeks. So depending on how that goes, that will depend on how the playoff berth goes and if they can make it to the Super Bowl, because their defense is looking good. Kyler Murray's looking good, but it will depend on how these next few weeks go without D-Hop. So Buffalo Bills, I think they're the Super Bowl winners this year. I love Josh Allen. I think he's the future of football. That team is stacked with talent all over. Even with guys that you wouldn't think have talent. The only thing that they could do better on is having a better, more solidified running back rather than Zach Moss. But Josh Allen is his own tank. He's humping dudes on the ground, rip Jalen Ramsey, and stiff arming guys into the next season. So I think they'll be just fine, and they're Super Bowl prospects and even Super Bowl winners in my eyes. And I would love to see Josh Allen win a Super Bowl. I think that would be awesome. Sorry, Sam. I know that's against your Patriots, but you gotta admit the guy looks awesome when he's playing. Seahawks, Geno Smith. God, they are just a sad, sad group, aren't they? Yes, they beat the Broncos, but you're losing. Can the fucking Packers just go pick up one of those damn Seahawks wide receivers? You got DK Metcalf and you got Tyler Lockett, whose wasted talent is getting thrown with Geno Smith. So they win about 6 games this year, and that's as high top as I go for them. I think they should quit now because they lost Bobby Wagner. He was the last guy in Legion of Boom, I'm pretty sure. That era has been finito, so they're just not. I'm sorry to say, Tyler, you guys got great wide receivers, but that talent is just being wasted with a quarterback named Geno Smith. So, and last but not least, Sam, we have your favorite team of the New England Patriots. Where do I want to go with these guys? They are 1-1. Lost the first week, beat the Steelers this last week. Shit. Oh, where do I want to put these? This is just really tough for me because although I thought they looked really well, Mac Jones looked really well. Damian Harris is a question mark for me. What was that? Aguilar just mossed the guy yesterday. Their offense is looking better than what it was last year. They got Hunter Henry that they need to get more involved. But I foresee them being third in their division, sadly, just because of how stacked the other two are. It's unfortunate, but I'm going to put them in the hunt. I think they don't make the playoffs, but very close. I think they are one of those like 8 wins, 9 wins, maybe teams that go around that 500 mark. I'm sorry, Sam. I know you said don't say shit about the Patriots, but when you're playing against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Josh Allen in the same division, what did you say? He's gonna be like, I hate you. Rude, but acceptable. I'm sorry, and I would love to see your team do well, but it's just so hard because that division is so stacked this year. When you see how well that Tua came back and won against the Ravens, and then you got the dominant Buffalo Bills. It's really hard. I wish I could say that the Patriots will be in that wild card spot as the second seed in the division, but it's honestly, in my eyes, between this or the AFC West, with the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos. I think hand in hand, probably the two toughest divisions in the whole NFL. So it'll be interesting to see. Who knows? Maybe Tyreek Hill tears his ACL, Josh Allen tears his ACL, and the whole path of everything could just totally change. But the way I see it after week 2, the way I'm seeing things, I see them in the hunt right around 500 and probably missing the playoffs. So, yeah, that's going to do it. It's 6:30. I think I'm going to go to the bathroom here real quick, and then we're going to probably try and get into some farming sim, and we will see. Stand by. Oh, we must have hitched there at least once or 10 times. Oh, good. We hitched twice. Jacob Hebe. Hello.
Hey, so you need to pull that list back up because you have 8 NFC teams and 6 AFC teams, and that won't work for the 7-7 split.
I already exited it out. I'm sorry I wasn't sitting there looking at the split. I'm seeing teams individually how they are. Oh, I do still have it.
Oh, I hear that nice echo.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the phone down a bit. There, I have it back up now. That's AFC. Broncos are AFC. I'll take the fucking Vikings out. I don't care. Fuck them. I do too. I like the Vikings.
You almost just sympathy give the Titans because they have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think I feel it with you there. Jimmy, we'll see how Jimmy G does. And yeah, probably because they were able to make it last year, we'll put the Titans up there. I wasn't even thinking about that, but thanks for catching it. Love you long time.
Hey, what are mods for if they don't catch your mistakes?
Yeah, thanks. Love you long time. I heard that they were going to be evaluating him this week and that they were going to wait and see because his agent is saying that he is just as good before he got hit with drugs. So
And then the last thing I'll say against the Cowboys, so just pleading my case here. We'll get Dak back, we'll get Michael Gallup back, we'll get James Washington back, and we still have CeeDee Lamb, and we have Tony Pollard and Zeke, and we'll have Dalton Schultz back, all within 3-4 weeks from now.
hey, so, as long as you guys don't go 0-3 in these next 3 weeks or so.
Oh, absolutely not. Won't happen.
All right, well, we'll wait and see. We'll pull this up in a couple weeks and see how it goes.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, later.
Bye.
All right. So, thank you, Sam and Jake, for catching that. But yes, we'll officially have this as my rankings, and I'm going to close this out. I'll turn the music back on, and I'm going to go to the bathroom here very shortly. And then I'm going to see if I can get a hold of Andrew and figure out what his status is. I'll get the music going again. I'll be back. All right, we're back. So, let's pause this quick. Pause. All right, so Andrew, I see, is playing Farming Sim. Let me get my headphones. It'll be my first time using Discord while streaming. So we'll wait and see how it all works. There's probably going to be a lot of weird noises happening in the background. So we'll wait and see. I want to try and see if I can figure out how to turn some of the noises off. I didn't check this before starting. RIP. Because it's gonna do a really boring gay ringing thing, so want to not have it do that. Notifications, no. I don't know. Junk. So let's get the Farming Sim booting up, and hopefully Drew is good to go shortly. It says he's in idle. I think he was in the shower, so let's see if he's popping on here shortly. Otherwise, we'll just start playing on our career mode for a little while.
Said, to forget how to dig the soil, tend the earth, is to forget ourselves.
I think my headphones are dead.
Well, maybe some have.
As you see,
But a few of us still know. You gotta be willing to put in the time, the sacrifices, and the hard choices. The job's got its perks, don't get me wrong. The sweet smell of the morning dew, the way the warm sun and the cool breeze can dance across your skin. But don't think
Oh, this cord is gonna drive me nuts.
From the chaff. Just remember to keep your wits about you.
Is the game really quiet?
You fall.
Yeah, I turned the game down just because everything was really loud when I played yesterday. We'll turn it up here. Is that better? Mainly because it was hard for me to hear Andrew when I was in the call with him yesterday. Oops. Sorry about it. That better? Better? Still too quiet? I suppose I could probably just turn headset down and this up a bit. Sorry, it's gonna keep bouncing out whenever I click out of it, so. Mods, no, don't want any of them. So the way I was starting yesterday is I started plowing. Sounds good. Okay. I started plowing a field. I have no idea how to play this game really. Andrew was starting to explain it to me a bit. So we'll kind of be learning together. So that way, if you guys end up getting it, you'll kind of know what to do. I'm going to be playing on mouse and keyboard though. So the controls will be a little bit different from what you guys are doing. But yeah, I did it so it would start out as you have like 3 different tiers, basically like easy, medium, or hard. I did like the medium where you have money. You can see in the top right, I have my funds, and then actually let me move my camera here quick. Sorry, one more thing. I moved it before, but it was in the way of the pic, so move it up a little bit. Right there-ish. Because the map is in the bottom left, so that way you guys can still see the map. So, we got the map down here. So, you can see I can't use my pointer, but just above 56 there, I have my truck sitting over there. And down below in the bottom left, I have my tractor that was on the plowing field. I haven't finished plowing, but I can go to this and I can see my contracts, and I'm 50% of the way done. And once I finish, I get this amount, and then these are new stuffs for me to do. With the medium version, like the medium difficulty, this is my truck, so I can easily teleport to my different ones, just hitting tab. With the different difficulties, so with medium, you don't get land at all, but you get money to start with, and then you kind of just start out with really nothing other than just money, and then you have to kind of work your way through it. So that's really all I have done. So I'm just going to work on trying to finish plowing this field. Try to see if I can get this money. Also, I was supposed to have ballast weight on this tractor, and I think it's been affecting me a little bit because every so often when it's trying to shift gears, it's having a hard time getting going again. So I think the ballast weight would have helped that. And plus, if you try to use AI, like in the top left, you have hire AI worker. I found that to be quite a ripoff, because they charge you like $1 every second. So I'm just gonna try to do as much of this by myself, because they're expensive. Oh, this cruise control didn't want to work, huh? Sorry, hitched again. Don't know why. You haven't missed much, I'm still plowing. So, Sam, you said that you don't have to wear your shower thing anymore. Did you get your brace off today or no? Missed a spot. Darn it. Driving these vehicles are so difficult. They do not. This fucking stupid. I have no idea why. I need to look into it. I need to really look into why my computer keeps doing this to me, because it's really driving me nuts. Alright, let's lift this up. Lift. Go. Sorry, traffic, if you're there. Like my character. He's too skinnier now, but couldn't make him any fatter. And they didn't have any flannel options. They only had overalls. We are 71% completed. You could. If you did get the game, we can, well, not in this map, but I would be able to start the, well, it doesn't plow when it goes that way, huh? When you get the map, you're able to even, or when you get the game, we could create a server and you guys would even be able to get, like, your own farms and stuff. So you guys, like, we would be in the same map, but you guys could do, like, your own thing. Or you guys could, we could all work together. It's up to you guys. Eventually, like, if I get into this game, what I'd want to do is, like, get a farm and then make a house on it, probably have a couple of animals, and then have a couple of fields, have a couple of different crops. I feel like it'd be cool to have some cows. But, then we would, I still want to try to, like, do some other stuff, like, see if we could do some oddball jobs. I was watching The Squad, what Andrew got me into, and seeing all the different things that they're able to do are pretty cool, but I still want to do some of this stuff here. So, yeah, come home from work and we still are working. Rushing touchdown from Derrick Henry. Oh, game started. Nice. Love that. And don't feel obligated like you guys have to sit here and watch me. If you guys want to watch football, I totally understand. It's just gonna be me trying to figure out how to play this game. Because clearly these rows that I'm doing don't look very pretty. Ooh, power slide. God, I'm gonna miss, yep, missed a spot again there. We're missing a lot. We're making our own, we're making our own path. Alright, turn. And the stream is connected. I think Andrew just said he's just about ready. That he's just about ready and letting his food cool down. I've been working on the railroad. Turn, Beatrice, turn. Gotta make sure the trailer clears on a nice wide turn over here. I feel like you're not a farmer unless you got some cigarette in your hand or some dip in your lip. Wonder where Astrid is about nowadays. Haven't seen him in a minute. Hope his ribs and shoulder are doing alright. Never know with being out there. Probably really hot into that Tarkov grind. Shooby-doo, shooby-dooby-doo. Pretty cool how realistic they're able to make this game, though. Man, look at all those schnibbles I'm leaving everywhere. They need some tunes in this tractor. Oh man, we survived the whole 4 minutes without the stream crashing yet. Must be a new record. The sad part is that I feel like the way I'm gonna have to fix it is by switching it over to a 720p display, which would, I feel like, kind of blow. But I'm hoping that if I can just weather the storm and get to the new house, that it'll be better. But I don't know. Wish I knew, though. Almost done here, I believe. Nice and wide. What we got, Jake? See, if I... So this is... So I'll lift it up. And if I fold it, this is basically making it so I can drive down the road without breaking anything. So that's like as far out as it will go. And then I can rotate it. So if I hit B, it'll just change it to the other side. So I can plow on the other side of my vehicle. But I don't plow anything if it's folded up, so, because then it just puts it up like that, and then I can go down the road without having to worry about plowing anything. If there's like, oh shit, back, lower. Because if I just hit fold, I can't do it while the tool is lowered. Yeah, there's a lot of messing around with it that I had to do yesterday. Because I was thinking myself, too, I'm like, this thing has got to swing out more so I can get more coverage out of it, but no. I think if I had a bigger tractor and had a bigger plow, I'd be able to do it. Oh, my contract's finished. Alright, good enough for me. I ain't gonna waste more gas on it. What do we got now? Saving. We're gonna collect. So now we could do baling, but I need all of that stuff to do it. Fertilizing. I already have the tractor. This tractor might be bigger than mine. See, like they want us to do a counterweight on the back. Liquid soil, slurry, and manure. Use your equipment or lease them. Reduced by 75. Make sure to fill the tool with soil fertilizer. That's only $500 though. I don't know. Or I could just do more plowing and get $600. See, like it wants us to put this back. Honestly, I feel like I need a bigger tractor. Jesus. I got 3 people sitting here watching, and the tractor doesn't want, or the computer doesn't want to work for me. I'm sorry, guys. Wish I could provide you guys with a more high quality stream, but unfortunately I can't figure it out without having to end the stream. So we're just chilling out, we're doing some work, and just hanging out some more. I think my license plate's pretty nice. With 3 Ps. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna get a truck, and then I think I want to see if I can buy my own land, because that would be cool if we can buy it, and then that way we figure out what we want to do. If we want to plant corn, plant soy, plant hay. We'll have to I have to figure out, I guess, figuring out the market and what might sell the best. But we'll kind of wait and see. I got 6 people here watching me. Thanks, guys, for showing up. Appreciate it. We're just hanging out, doing a little work after work. I think Andrew's ready. So I think we might kind of switch over and do that server, and then kind of just do what we're doing over here, but over there. I just want to get this back to the store, so that way it's there when I decide to come back later. Don't text and drive, kids. Only in video games. Truck should just be up here.